At my son's funeral, my ex-wife whispered, "This is your fault. You were never there." I didn't respond, but when I stood to speak, I played a video that made everyone gasp. "This is your fault. You were never there." My ex-wife Rachel hissed it as we stood by our son's casket. Jake was 19, gone in a car accident. Sudden, senseless. The kind of loss that hollows you out. Rachel's words should have broken me, but I'd heard them before. For 12 years since the divorce, she'd painted me as the absent father, the one who chose work over family, the deadbeat who sent checks but never showed up. It wasn't true, but her narrative was louder than my truth. At the funeral, 200 people filled the church. Jake's friends, Rachel's family, people who'd heard her version for years. They looked at me with pity or judgment. The father who failed. When it was time for eulogies, Rachel went first. She talked about raising Jake alone, about being both parents, about how hard it was when someone doesn't show up. She never said my name, but everyone knew. Then it was my turn. I walked to the podium slowly, carrying my laptop. I debated this for 3 days. Jake would have wanted the truth. He'd begged me to tell it for years, but I'd stayed quiet to keep the peace. Not anymore. I connected the laptop to the church's screen. Before I speak, I said, my voice steady, "I want to show you something Jake sent me 2 months ago." The screen lit up. Jake's face appeared, recording a selfie video in his dorm room. "Hey Dad," he said, smiling that crooked smile. "I know Mom's family reunion is coming up, and I know she's probably going to do her usual thing. So I wanted to make this, just in case." He took a breath. "My dad didn't abandon me. He fought for me. When I was 7, he fought for joint custody. Mom told the court he was unstable, unreliable. She won primary custody. Dad got every other weekend. Then Mom moved 3 hours away. Suddenly those weekends became impossible. She'd schedule my soccer games during his time, birthday parties, school events, anything to make him choose between seeing me and looking like the bad guy who missed things." The church was silent. Jake continued. "When I was 10, Dad asked to switch weekends so he could come to my championship game. Mom said no, said it wasn't his weekend. He drove 6 hours round trip anyway, sat in the back of the bleachers so there wouldn't be a scene. I saw him. He waved. Mom saw him too and lost it. Told me after that Dad was trying to manipulate me, but he just wanted to watch me play." Jake's eyes got watery. "When I was 14, I asked to live with Dad. Mom cried, said I was betraying her, said Dad had poisoned me against her. The court kept custody with her. Dad kept showing up. Every phone call Mom tried to block. Every birthday. Every graduation. He's been there. Not perfectly, but he tried. Mom made it impossible and then blamed him for it." The video continued for another minute. Jake talking about the camping trips I'd planned that Rachel canceled. The college fund I'd built that Rachel told him didn't exist. The letters I'd written that she'd never given him. When the video ended, the screen went black. The church stayed silent. I looked at Rachel. Her face was white. Her mother's mouth hung open. "You told everyone I wasn't there," I said quietly. But Jake knew the truth, and now they do too. Rachel stood, shaking. "You can't do this. Not here. Not at his funeral. Jake did this," I said. "He made this video because he was tired of the lie. Tired of watching you rewrite history. He loved you, Rachel, but he needed people to know." I walked back to my seat. Rachel's sister tried to comfort her, but Rachel pushed her away and rushed out. Whispers erupted. After the service, people approached me. Jake's friends, former neighbors, even Rachel's cousin. "We didn't know. I'm sorry." I just nodded. The damage was done. The truth was out. 3 days later, Rachel's mother called. She didn't apologize, but her voice was different, quieter. "Jake was a good boy. He loved you both." "I know," I said. "That's why I stayed quiet for so long. But he wanted the truth told." She paused. "He got that strength from you." We buried Jake on a Tuesday. Rachel didn't speak to me at the graveside, didn't look at me. But when I placed my hand on his casket, I whispered, "I kept my promise, buddy. They know now." A week later, I received a letter from Jake's university. Inside was another video file on a USB drive. A note in Jake's handwriting. "Dad, if you're watching this, something happened to me. I made a bunch of these videos. One for you, one for Mom, one for my future kids if I ever have them. I just wanted the truth documented. You taught me that truth matters, even when it's hard." The video on the drive was Jake, older, more serious. I don't know if I'll ever need anyone to see this, but if I do, I want to say, my dad was there. Maybe not in every way he wanted to be, but in every way he could be. And that was enough. I played the video alone in my apartment, tears streaming down my face. Rachel had taken years from me, moments I couldn't get back, but she hadn't taken Jake's love. She hadn't rewritten that. At his funeral, I didn't respond to Rachel's accusation with anger. I responded with Jake's voice, and in the end, that was louder than any lie she'd ever told.